Okay, we're gonna begin recording now. If we need to stop due to audio issues, we'll go ahead and do that. And here comes Dot. Dot, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, oh my gosh. You took me aback for a second. You're looking so good.
Boo. Thank you. Thank you. How have you been? How was your other interview?
It was great. It was actually a lot of fun. So I
Hmm.
think this one is gonna turn out to be really fun too. So it's turning out to be a good evening for me so far.
Awesome. Good to hear.
All right, so real quick, my name's Julia. Am doing interviews for a publication called Zesty Zine, and this is part of our Black Cosplayers series. Um, I can't stop looking at your background. What is that?
It's Danny Phantom.
I thought so. I was like, that Danny Phantom or Dexter's Lab? I couldn't, but now I see it's Danny Phantom.
It's the
So
Phantom Lab, yeah.
that's great. That's awesome. All right, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, I'm Dotte Comm. I'm like obviously a drag queen. Obviously black, so that's fun too. And what I like to do is I like to incorporate, cosplays into my look. It's super fun. It's something I would like love growing up with. Hence, why I'm here. I also run a local show called Neonblk, which is an all-black drag show that happens every first Wednesday of the month at Mary's. If we had the ability to go outside right now, but that's what we normally do. So that's the show that I'm in charge of.
That's great. And I've seen Neonblk before. It's a really great show. We'll get into that in just a little bit.
Thank you. Okay.
So, how did you first get into cosplay?
So, that's a new question, actually. Usually people ask me how I get into drag. No one ever asks about how I get into cosplay. Um, that is an interesting question. So let's see. Back in the day, like I would say, like middle school, like early high school, I like always wanted to go to those conventions that I heard about. No idea how I ever like found out about them. I just knew that they existed, and so I would like beg my dad to take me on the very last day, and then he'd be like, "Oh, my poor little son, he would like to come into the convention, please," and they would just let us go in. And just like seeing all the costumes is like something I like aspired to. Like you really do like get a really close personal connection with like these characters you see like on the screen or on the page, and that's just something that I like always wanted to channel, and I feel like it was natural to want to like dress up as somebody who you kind of identify as,
Yeah, that's so. Who are you dressed up as today?
Danny Phantom. That's why I
Yeah.
have the big
Oh,
old D on
Danny
my chest.
Phantom. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't see the D. I thought it was a Danny Phantom character, but I wasn't sure exactly which one.
No,
So,
I just went for like a kind of classic Danny. He had like, there was a female, like I think Danielle also, but I just went for him instead.
well, I love it. I think it looks really, really good.
Thank you, thank you.
So, you don't hardly ever see dragon cosplay. I mean, I think you and your drag son Perk are probably two of the only people that I've really seen do it, especially here in Atlanta. So, how do you incorporate the two?
Well, it's actually not too hard. Like, it's still a costume that you put on. Like, that's what you do for drag. And, like, I kind of think of, like, drag as, like, you're cosplaying your gender persona in a sense. So,
Mhm.
like, everybody's doing cosplay in a sense. But there's a lot of other people who do cosplay, like, maybe once in a while, but they haven't really made it part of their brand. So you can see it, like, all over, especially Halloween. All the
Mhm.
girls, like, pull out their fun, like, little costumes, like, the Pennywises is of them all, and I don't know, just people like dressing up at Halloween. But I like to do these costumes like on the regular as much as I can.
So it's like Halloween every day.
Basically, or like whenever I'm booked somewhere. Not every day. That would be very tiring.
Yeah, you're right. I think I saw they covered that pretty well in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Right. You've been reading your literature.
I have. I've been studying the required material.
Yes, yes. The Book of Burton.
So what are your favorite characters? We've talked previously
Hmm.
about Marvel really being a big thing of yours.
Hmm.
Well, who are some of your favorite characters and why?
I usually go for like, okay, so like Marvel is like, you know, a big pull, and I love Black characters usually just because like that's somebody who I identify with. Like, you know, growing up, trying to go to conventions and stuff and try to do like my little closet cosplays always kind of felt weird and off sometimes, like portraying people who weren't of my race. And that's, you know, become an issue like in general. Now I've like got this like more bigger, wider understanding about like race and culture and society and stuff when it comes to cosplay because yeah, it's like everything's valid, but like cosplayers, they want like that accuracy, you know? And unfortunately that accuracy creates like people doing blackface. But for my personal favorite characters, so that's kind of like why I like, you know, my Black characters.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously like Storm. I need to do like a Dark Veil look one of these days. Um, oh, I really want to do Spectrum. So Spectrum is actually rumored to be in the next upcoming WandaVision television series.
Oh,
And
wow.
she was already, her character was already featured in Captain Marvel before. So that's a big setup. And she's super cool. And so I just need to like get my costume together first before anybody else like gets, well, people have done Spectrum, but like not in the drag world. So I can't wait to be the first drag queen to cosplay Spectrum, you know?
That's gonna be great. I can't wait to see it. I'll be honest and don't hate me for it. I'm a little bit more of a DC fan.
Oh, you're fine.
I like Harley Quinn. I like my Birds of Prey and all of that. But I do definitely appreciate Marvel, and X-Men is definitely my top, one of my top fandoms. I love X-Men. So
Listen, I love the X-Men so much. Like, I've been like trying to like explore all the lore and like the backstories and whatnot, like from the very beginning, and it's crazy because like there's a lot of times where Professor X didn't need his wheelchair. He's all like, "Congratulations, X-Men! I've invented a walking machine. Oh no, it's not batteries. Back to the wheelchair." Also, now I'm dead, and now I'm not. So X-Men are crazy, but they have like fun times.
I think if I were to identify with a Marvel character, it would definitely be Jean Grey,
Oh yeah,
for
how's
sure.
that?
You know, I see myself as her like prior to realizing she's Phoenix. I think I
Yeah.
probably can do a lot of things, but like I just have kept them hidden away.
There's like so much untapped potential, and then
Yep.
like one day, bam, it all clicks.
I like to think that, so we'll see.
That's honestly life. I feel that. I think like my favorite character, like I don't know, Prodigy, super cool. Do you know him?
No, I'm
He's like
sorry.
one of the X-Men, and he basically whenever he is in the vicinity of somebody else, he can absorb like all their skills. So like if
Oh,
he's standing
yeah,
next to a
yeah.
ninja
I've
who's
seen him
also
in
a
one of the
ninja.
movies.
Oh, he wasn't in the movies.
He
No,
wasn't. Was he?
not yet. I'm waiting. So like if Marvel's ever listening to like this podcast, I would like to audition.
Okay, so Marvel. You guys heard that right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They hear everything. They're part of Disney now.
Well, I have Disney Plus, so like, and Alexa records everything. So, hey, Disney Plus, Marvel, we really need .com to cast for this part.
Thank you.
So yeah, um, so doing cosplay, going to cons, things like that. You've said before that um, cosplayers are kind of diehard about like looking a certain way. Have you had run into bumped any heads with people
Not
because you haven't looked
specifically.
exactly the way they expect you should?
Actually, like no, like not yet, which is like really like weird to me because you know, going to my first con in drag, like my first like cons ever cosplaying was like a T-shirt and a star on it, and I'm like I'm Steven Universe, so is everybody else, and like going to a convention that like isn't used to like seeing like drag people and like fluorescent lighting too because those are like in the hotel lobbies, so like they can see like every single flaw, and they're all like, "Oh, excuse me, sir, your makeup is pretty," and I'm like, "Okay." Like that's like the most I've ever gotten, and I don't really like mind about that. But it's been a really awesome, just like being able to walk around 6-inch heels, taller than everybody else, visibly gay, and like be kind of like accepted or at least like tolerated. Like, I don't know. So it's a pretty cool scene. I've been enjoying going to cons in drag.
I don't see how you couldn't be accepted. Your makeup is just great. I've seen some of your other stuff as well, and you just do a really good job with it. So,
Thank you. No, I think like for me, a lot of it comes from like, that original fear that I had, like discovering I'm, gay, and I'm like, oh no, this means that people will hate me because like, for me personally, I always like thought of like people like Matthew Shepard, like when I was growing up, and I was terrified of that happening to me too. And
mhm.
that's like a real fear like a lot of queer people like have is like, hey, if I go out in public and people can see me, like I could get attacked for this. And it's gotten phenomenally better like over the past like few years. And so just like going out there and being yourself consistently is probably the best thing that you can do. Like, stay safe and whatnot, but being visible helps break down people's barriers and understand like, hey, that person might come from a different walk of life, but that's none of my business, or like, good for them.
Yeah, I think we are, as a whole in a society, um, moving towards a more open and accepting way of looking at things, whether the old boomers want us to or not, you know.
Uh,
So so yeah, it'll be really interesting to see when people finally start like exchanging ideas and things like that, and can actually talk to each other and get past their initial shock, I guess you
what is
could
this?
say.
A homosexual? Oh no!
A homosexual who looks better than me. Oh no. That's really what it boils down to, I think.
Oh my gosh. Maybe. Who knows? I'm just jealous.
Okay, so switching subjects real quick, we were
Yeah.
talking about Neonblk.
Hmm.
Great show, all black cast. You do a lot of different themes. You've done some digital edition. No, no different thing.
I don't do themes usually. I leave the theme, like the theme is it's all black, which is interpreted to like
Hmm.
each performer. That doesn't mean they have to do like songs by black artists. They can do like whatever they want. This just like gives them like that free space to, I don't know, not have to feel like they have to be the black one on cast, I guess. Like they just get freedom, which I think is super cool. So we haven't had any themes, but we have done two online versions in June and July. That was like starting after the George Floyd protests and all that
Hmm.
down here. I felt super bad and powerless. I had the show going on for a hot minute, but I never thought that I would do it online because it was new territory. But I just felt like that is what our community needed, was like something to be happy about,
Right.
especially like with as powerless as somebody can feel with, I don't know, like the police can like come into your home and kill you. Like it'd be like the wrong home. Like the police have been in the wrong, come into the wrong, and like just murdered somebody and got away with it. And that's so disheartening to like think about all the time. So that's why I wanted to like start doing like Neonblk online, have it like raise money for some charities for local people and for bigger organizations as well. Just because I really think the community like needs hope that things
Yeah.
will get better, because things will get better eventually. Not right now, but in the meantime, let's have fun and celebrate Black joy.
Yeah, that I agree with you 100% there. Do you think after COVID's over and we start opening up venues more, do you think you'll still be incorporating any online shows?
Oh, that is an excellent question. I think it depends on the content, like what's available and who is out there. I know personally, it's super hard to like do these shows. Like
Hmm.
even like right now, I got into like mostly like drag for this. I could record a video, but then also that would require me to like get like my other green screen and like set up the camera and then figure out what song I'm doing and then do editing for like 2 3 hours, and then I have work tomorrow. I have like I don't know like so anyways, all that goes to say is that it's so much harder to do drag online, If there are people who are still making videos, then I think it would be possible. But like, if everyone goes back to like, the way things used to be and they stop making online content, then I can't have a show, Um,
Exactly.
I think like the best thing that I could probably do is if people stop making videos is to record the shows in person. It's just super hard for me to do that because like, I don't know, I would take that on myself to also record and also host and also set things up and also do drag. So yeah, probably not. But if there's people who would want it, I would do my best to give out something.
I I think after COVID ends, people we're pretty much forever changed, especially in the way we consume media and our spending habits and things like that. So it might be good to hybridize a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm super excited to get back to the live shows regardless. I know everybody misses that camaraderie.
Me too. And then also like on the business end of things, like
Right.
it was easier for like drag people to make money when it was
Exactly.
like IRL and like right now sometimes you'd have a show and you get like $2, which isn't like always encouraging. And of course you can use that video for like a later day, but I don't know. It would be nice to also get paid again.
Yeah, for sure. It's a lot easier to get a tip spot when you're right in front of somebody.
Exactly. You can kind of raise their fingers and just be like, hello, it's me, and then take the dollar, then do the same thing to the next person.
Yep. I mean, then they can't help but give you. I mean, I'm like reaching into my pockets now. I'm like, so Neonblk as a whole, it's a really great project. I
Mhm.
don't really see any all black shows much around here.
Well,
Um,
not around here, but this one was actually modeled after Black Girl Magic up in Chicago. That's, the Vixen show.
oh,
That's kind of where I
okay.
got the idea that, like, people would be interested in a show like this. So the Vixen was on season 10 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Hmm.
And I don't know, like, back when, do you remember when Burkhart's closed down?
Hmm.
So, like, for everybody who doesn't know about it, basically, Burkhart's was a local bar, and the racists said some racist, the racists, the owners said some racist stuff in the past,
Hmm.
and also defended that in the present. And so everybody walked, the bar shut down. It was this really weird thing to have the bar shut down because of like race issues, racism issues. And so that's like when I kind of like got the motivation to bring like Black Girl Magic, or our own version of it here. Um, just because that's kind of something that I wanted to have. It was supposed Neonblk is kind of the show that I wanted when I was starting out in drag.
Hmm.
Because like what I used to do is I used to go to like specific shows and I would be like studying like the black girls' faces to figure out like what they did to make their makeup look pretty. Because like there's different techniques you have to like use, and yeah, so I was I don't know. That's kind of like the origin behind Neonblk here is that like I got it from the Vixen. But I don't know. It kind of became its own thing, and I'm super happy that we have it.
Yeah, it's amazing that you have it. I think it's really done a lot to uplift the black drag community as a whole, and it's just really great to see just see some people up there that are not like the same people that are in every cast.
Hmm. It's pretty easy to get stagnant, so I also try to like rotate the cast as much as possible. Um, just because I feel like that way you get a different show every single time.
Hmm.
Growing up for me, it was really I grew up in a mostly white community, and so I always like felt like my blackness was invalid because I wasn't like the other black people that I saw like in other places. Especially because my parents are from like Trinidad, like
Hmm.
with an island, and so like I didn't feel like I had like that history either, so I felt like super disconnected. But as I grew older, I like kind of found that like, oh, my blackness doesn't have to be like somebody else's blackness. It can be like it can show up in like all different like forms and even colors. So like that's kind of like my intention behind rotating the people out because if you're black, you're black. Like, there's like no other like, you know, qualifiers to it, especially for the people who say like, oh, blah, 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 you talk white, or like, oh, I know more about rap music than you. Are you even black? So like, no, like, I get to do whatever I want to do in my black way, and that's perfectly valid.
Listen. Okay, so we were talking about Neonblk and the show, you giving performers a chance that a lot of them don't really have a platform. So what are your thoughts on how other show producers, directors, I guess people in power can be more inclusive as well?
Let's see. That is a really interesting question, just because, you know, after being in the drag game for a little bit, I kind of understand how people make some of these decisions of keeping the same older cast on, is that they're reliable, you know, they're entertaining, sometimes they're your friends, and, you know, or your favorites. So, I don't know, like, you want to book, like, reliable people, and we don't really have a way to, showcase the new people? I don't know. Show producers have to do a better job of like having their finger on the pulse of like who's hot and who's upcoming, you know? Like, you don't have to give every single person who like just started to do drag like a chance just now. They can still prove themselves in like other ways. They can still show up in drag. There's still some competitions that they can do to like say, hey, here's my worth. But I think show directors should always be looking for new people to include in general, you know? Definitely try to also look for those people who might not have as high visibility. So, like, you know, for people who are like people of color, or maybe they're like trans, or like differently abled, or maybe they're, you know, if they're kind of marginalized. You don't have to give them like, you know, special treatment, but maybe you could like help their career grow a little bit more so that they can be the light, like they can like become like a role model for other people, you know? I don't know, that's kind of like why I'm like super proud of like, you know, Perk, because like he's like one of the few drag kings that we have like in the city. And so I'm like, okay, cool, like let me help this kid like a little bit more, because I want him to succeed, so that way he can like go and inspire like other drag kings, you know?
He does so well as Black Panther too.
Oh, he does.
He looks great. I'll be interviewing him as well, so
That's exciting.
yeah, you guys will both be on a little family feature.
Turn up.
Okay, so since we're all in a pandemic, since everybody's making like, I don't know, like probably 10% of the income they were, what would you say is a good way for fans to support performers right now?
So as much fun as it is to get money and like get tips and Venmos and stuff, I don't think it's like completely necessary right now, you know? Like if you have the money, that's great. Like go ahead and tip, or like donate to like any causes that help out people like us. But I think like sharing content would be a really good way to you know, support people, you know, get our names out there, especially because we're becoming more of like a digital world. So like if you see somebody who's like, you know, your favorite drag performer, like post a picture, be like, hey, everybody check out my really cool person who I admire, you know? Or like if, you know, I have a show and it's like, you know, calling for like donations, just even like sharing stuff would probably be like the best way for me. You know, like I don't need more money. Like I live fine. I have food in my fridge. So like I'm in no rush to like create content, but like sharing has definitely been like a really great way. And it also just makes, you know, the artists themselves feel a little bit better too. Like, oh wow, you like me. You actually like me? Like you would share that on your page? Thank you, you know?
Validation.
That's what it is, validation. Because validation gives me what? Electrolytes. And I'm thirsty.
Yep. And I mean, honestly, to have an online presence is really worth its weight in gold, even outside of the pandemic. Like it's really very important.
It definitely helps to get you out there. Like, I'll be honest, I haven't been posting that much. I don't do that much, but it's such a big internet game. So like, I'm taking my time with it. Perk's been doing amazing. He's like, now he's gotten like as many followers as like I do, if not more. People know who he is. He's been like in drag shows all across the country, from the comfort of his own home. And so like he's definitely like living proof that like putting yourself out there is definitely worth it, you know? Like, so even if you're like, it doesn't really matter like what type of art you do, like as long as you're sharing who you are, then it could benefit you. People will probably end up liking you. You have no idea.
Right. Speaking of Perk, how are you
Yeah.
liking being a drag mom?
Being a drag mom is so strange and new to me. Like I'm still like trying to get used to it. I have two kids, you know, Percocet and Eliza Wilde. So like just
Oh,
having,
really? I love her.
yeah. So you know, even though I consider myself still pretty new to drag too, they're like slightly newer. Um, and they're both really super amazing, and they keep me young and old at the same time because they have so much energy and passion for drag. And I'm like, oh wow, I'm 25 and my bones hurt. And they're like, well, I'm 22 and I want to stay up all night and talk to everybody. And I'm like, good for you. I'm glad that you're happy. Like seeing them happy makes me like, you know?
Spoken like a true mom. Yeah, Perk, I saw him when I don't know, it was probably one of his first or second shows, and he was
Yeah.
so shy, he was so new, and just to see him now, he's so funny, he's larger than life. It's just really
Yeah.
great to see how he's grown.
I'm super happy for him. And Eliza's making like, you know, jumps and strides too. Like she's gonna get there. So we're gonna like help her out as much as we can just to, you know, have her be like more comfortable in life, I think. I don't know. Like a lot of like my like parental teaching is just trying to like help them also kind of like help them out like in the real world if I can, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like doing better at drag is like one thing, but like if you don't have your home life together, then going out and like trying to like do all that, like people can kind of tell, you know?
Yeah, it's gonna reflect in your art.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just trying to like, you know, root for them, make sure that they can get, you know, in stable situations. And then once you get like, you know, your Maslow's hierarchy of needs taken care of, then at the very tippy top of the pyramid, you can, you know, thrive at drag.
Right, right. Well, yeah, I think you're doing an excellent job. I think you're a great drag mom.
Thank
So,
you. I'm trying.
so I'm excited to see what all of you have for us coming up. I think that's all the questions I have for you. I'm going to open up the floor here. If there's anything you'd like to throw out there, talk about, anything you find important.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. So, I would love to talk more about like Black Lives Matter, I guess, but like I'm still like kind of shaken by everything that's going on right now. I don't know. I guess like for me, the fight isn't really done. I don't know what to do. But I think it's important to do something. And this is kind of like me talking to myself, you know,
Yeah,
because you know, it's really easy. Like racists want us to shut up. Racists don't want us to be saying Black Lives Matter over and over again. They don't want us to donate our money places. Like, and when we fail to act against racists, we're kind of like actively like losing. I don't know. And like I guess like because like as a problem solver, I just like want to go in, like become a politician and be like racism is illegal and then like pass that bill. But like I can't do that. And so I'm just like, you know, trying to like always look for different ways to fight on the ground like where I can, you know? I think part of that for me is going to have to be standing up to people. That's something that I was never really good at. You know, in a majority white school, I was going to stand up to like everybody because that would have been like torture, you know, like I would have like had to fight like a lot of different people, or even like in the club, and then Nicki Minaj will come on, and then she says the N word, and I'm like looking for the people who are like also singing along, and then I just realized I can't fight all of them. But I need to like stop being so complacent and start fighting more. And it's gonna be weird and super uncomfortable, but also like I don't want races to be comfortable. There we go.
They
That's
shouldn't be comfortable.
right. Like
Most of them dress hideously anyway.
true, but then also like they're so uh I don't know. They can just it's good that they're afraid that they can lose their jobs now. Like, you know?
It's great.
Sometimes it seems ridiculous, but they shouldn't feel comfortable like existing in our society. Like we're trying to get rid of them. So yeah, if you're listening to this, find ways that you can like, fight a racist and make them uncomfortable. Even if it's like being who you are, like being visible, like posting more like black affirming selfies and or I don't know, just rooting for just literally anything. I don't know. There's ways out there. There's ways out there like to fight. So yeah.
I have to say, as a white person, there's nothing I love more than going full Karen and finding a racist manager and speaking to them and getting that person fired. It's been amazing. It's like one of my favorite things to do. Um, so yeah, getting racists fired. And this whole zine project has sort of been a way to combat racism and really all types of bigotry. Just give people a voice because, like you said, they don't want to shut you up. So
yeah, they do.
So
super important. I don't know. I guess also just fight when you're tired. I totally didn't do Neonblk last month because like I don't know. I was moving. Things weren't really like lining up for me. I was like kind of hitting a stopping point, but yeah, let me keep on doing it because people like it and it definitely helps promote other Black entertainers as well. So I'm learning that lesson now. I'm gonna not take a break unless if I super need it, and I'll just keep doing my thing. Because even though, like, I'll be honest, it doesn't feel like I'm doing that much, but I guess it has a cool impact, and I'm gonna keep doing that. So yeah.
If you're doing it right, I don't think it's supposed to feel like you're doing a whole lot.
I guess. Who knows? But yeah, so I guess Neonblk will be, I have no idea what day it is. It's usually going to be the first Saturday of the month. And if, according to my research, that would be September 5th. So, yeah.
Excellent. So you can expect to see me there.
Yes, excellent.
So awesome. Well, Dot, thank you so much for talking to me. Thank you for putting on this amazing look for us.
Thank you so much. It was really, fun talking, and I'm happy to be here. Good luck on the zine, and also good job on the zine.
Thank you. It's been a really fun interview. This one and the one that I just had have been the two most fun so far. So yeah, it's been really great. So awesome. Everything will get posted probably tonight.
Okay.
There's not a whole lot to cut out, so yeah, I'll send you links, and yeah, we'll get ready to go.
Perfect. I will see you online.
All right. See ya.
All right. Bye.